spent about half of the 2020s hosting a podcast called Delayed Replay, recapping and reviewing movies that came out on time in my universe but got delayed in that other universe. And as such, the movies as they were in my universe came out differently. Some listeners not of this universe even think that this is an improvised comedy podcast. And hey, let them think what they want. It's entertaining either way, right? I'm Shinder, and you're listening to Delayed Replay Season 6. Hashtag 6 seasons about movies. New episode every other Saturday. Unless I say otherwise. Hello, listeners. Welcome to another episode of Delayed Replay, that podcast where we recap and review movies that got delayed in that other universe but came out on time in our universe. I'm your host, Shinder, and joining me once again for this episode about The Amateur, which came out last November in our universe, it is Greg. How's the daylight saving thing over there? Like, how are you coping with it at the moment?
Well, it just happened, so yeah, not too bad. I was playing a game last night at 1 o'clock, and I was like, "Oh, what time is it now?" And it just immediately became 2 o'clock, and I was like, "Oh, damn it, gotta go to bed." Just lost an
Yeah,
hour.
when your bedtime sneaks up on you like that.
Yeah,
What game was it?
been playing Indiana Jones and the Great Circle.
Oh, nice.
It's so much fun.
I
So I want to
was
watch all the movies again.
Yeah, I was actually at WonderCon yesterday, and there were a few Indiana Jones cosplayers, and a bunch of different cosplays, of course. And yeah, I also went to like this panel where like the kids who played Wim and Neil from Skeleton Crew were like answering questions, and so I was able to like ask what their favorite TV shows are, and they talked about Hamilton, and then talked about I think the one who played Wim mentioned Hilda as one of his favorite shows, and I also love that show. So yeah, it was a lot of fun. WonderCon.
Didn't mention like Samurai Jack or something or Avatar. Yeah, I guess not.
Yeah, I mean they're younger, so I'm curious about whether they'd even like I know internet is a thing, but I mean who knows how aware they are of like Samurai Jack, given that that's like a bit more obscure, I would think. But Avatar: The Last Airbender is like really popular, so sure, probably aware of that.
Yeah, they're down with the kids. I don't know.
Yeah,
Don't know what the kids watch anymore.
yeah, I can almost never tell these days. But yeah, so The Amateur stars Rami Malek. I've seen him in several things. Like,
Hmm.
uh, I know, like we've both seen Mr. Robot. I've seen the first two seasons, but not the whole show.
Yeah, I've seen a bit of it as well. I think a couple seasons.
Yeah, and he was also in Night at the Museum, and I think the first thing I ever saw him in was a show called The War at Home. It was like back in the 2000s, and yeah, his character was pretty memorable there. But yeah, this is in this one he's playing a CIA cryptographer named Charles Heller. Um, we begin by showing like his home life with his wife, and they're like it pretty much just showing like what his domestic life is before he has to go into work. Like, what'd you think of this setup here?
But yeah, he's got like a really like dingy apartment, like really can't keep anything clean. There are like pizza boxes everywhere. And I'm like, yes, they're showing us how a real man lives. Because even though like he's like really smart and everything, um, he just can't take care of himself.
Yeah, it really shows like the duality of man, I guess. Like, when he's working with the CIA, he's being all proper and by the book, but when he gets home, he just wants to unwind and just do nothing.
Yeah,
And
he's living a double life.
yeah, and you can tell that his wife is really annoyed by this, and understandably so. Rachel Brosnahan plays his wife here, from the marvelous Mrs. Maisel and, of course, like this year's Superman movie. Yeah, you could tell there's like a lot of friction because of his unwillingness to clean, and he even like tries to alleviate the problem by bringing home this like top secret robot cleaner device thing from the CIA, but it just like makes a bigger mess, doesn't it?
Yeah, like knocks everything over, but like it like speaks, and it like just hurls insults at his wife for not cleaning.
Yeah. It feels very like I don't know if this was like before your time or whatever, but it felt like very Jimmy Neutron with like just the inventions gone wrong type thing.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I feel like Rami Malek's character has something to do with the creation of it. Because he never outright says, oh yeah, I made this to help around the house. But yeah, I think he had something to do with it.
Yeah, and she like even insults him as like, "Well, you did a pretty terrible job, Mr. Robot." And it's like, "Oh God, why are they doing this? Like these overt references here."
Yeah, I should have called him Queen.
Yeah. Yeah, he was in that. I forgot about that. So yeah, they have this argument and she has to go to London. She I forget, did she explain why she had to go to London?
I think it's like a work call thing. I think I had like some meeting she had to go
Oh,
in
right.
person.
Yeah, like some sort of seminar or something, right?
Yeah, it was on chicken curry.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a seminar where like it was part seminar, part lunch type thing where they have like chicken curry and it's I guess they show us a bit of this meeting and it's like the chicken curry is supposed to be some sort of metaphor for work ethic. I wasn't quite following this here.
No, I think she was a chef, and it was like all like trying to help them with the restaurant and everything.
Oh, okay, yeah, I missed that. Yeah. Yeah, she is a chef and yeah, now that you mention that, that does remind me of how like one of the arguments like something that was mentioned in their arguments at home was like she's really sick of him ordering like pizzas when they could just cook better things because like she is like an expert and has all these different recipes. So yeah, that was definitely an element there.
Hmm.
Over at the CIA office place or headquarters, I guess I should say. Um, they're doing their work, and then at some point they show Charles the footage of his wife in London, and they tell him about this terrorist attack, and they see that she gets captured, and then uh, like I guess supposedly like shot dead or something, and so Charles is really upset because he realizes that he was such a crappy husband and like the last thing he said to her was like they were fighting and he spirals into like a deep depression right here.
He just goes like the deli truck constantly, like outside of work, and like the guys at the deli truck is like, bro, you just gotta stop.
Yeah. Yeah, the guy at the deli truck is like trying to give him advice, being like, this bread is gonna be bad for your health if you don't exercise. Um, he's like, I don't care, let's get this bread. And apparently the deli guy is also married, and he's like, look, if it were me, I wouldn't want to sit on my ass just eating sandwiches. I would want to do something about it and get whoever took my wife away from me. And so really this deli truck guy like instigates this whole plot, which is pretty nuts.
Yeah, quite mad.
Yeah, and Charles is quite mad too. Like he's angry 'cause he's like, I've wasted so much time doing nothing, which was basically what I did at home before I lost my wife, but she would want me to do something. And so he goes to the CIA guys and he's like, I want to avenge my wife. And they're like, bruh, do you even lift? Like
But I
they,
didn't even work here. Who are you?
yeah, he doesn't work there anymore because like he got fought, he like got let go months earlier because he was too depressed and just like he got like this deal that he would still get money sent to him, but like yeah, he hasn't been working in this place for quite a while now. Um
Yeah, it's very awkward trying to get onto this because like he doesn't really have any experience either, like in the field, because he's just like a desk dude. So
yeah,
I'm not sure how he thought he would able to handle it.
yeah, and they had even gotten a replacement for him already, like this other guy as a new cryptographer. They got Will Ferrell to play like this cryptographer who replaced him. So that was pretty random.
He just started singing when he's working, and he's like doing loads of jokes.
I think the thing he was singing was something like, I'm gonna cryptograph across the world. And yeah, it's just really random and out of place.
Dude, he could sing.
Oh yeah, like he could definitely sing like better than me probably.
Yeah,
Um
it wasn't a good rendition there.
yeah, and I think there was a moment where he also is singing Under Pressure by Queen, like just in the background. So a little
The man
nod
like was
for
like,
him.
I was in that movie.
Yeah. Yeah. And so yeah, they're all giving Rami Malek, Charles, they're giving him a hard time because he can't fight, and Lawrence Fishburne is like even trying to like demonstrate. And he's like, you gotta hold the gun, you gotta be able to pull the trigger, and aiming it at him, and he's like, I knew you couldn't do it, type thing.
You really helped his self-esteem there, even
Yeah.
though like dude's depressed, you're not really helping.
Yeah, like this guy lost his wife and they're just like being super mean to him. Um, and apparently like going after his wife's killer would also go against the CIA's policies that they have to follow. Um, like they explained to him that well, people today don't like when movies or shows or whatever have a male character whose motivation is he has to avenge the woman he loves who got killed. And so if we let you do that, then people will want to make a movie about it. And, we can't have movies where fridging is the main motivation behind these things. And it's
Yeah,
like,
I'd rather people kill a dog and you go after everyone. That's a much
yeah.
better film.
All right. Lawrence Fishburne was in those movies, wasn't he? The John Wick movies.
Uh,
Yeah, he was.
The Bowery King,
Oh yeah. Lawrence Fishburne was the Bowery King. But yeah, they got John Bernthal in this movie, and
legend.
yeah, they're pretty much implementing his Punisher skills, having him train Charles to like be a try to be a killer because I guess he's like an expert um like assassin type guy for the CIA. Like he sounds really shady the way they describe his work that he does for the CIA.
Yeah,
But
clearly like under the books. Like it's not like they don't hire him. He's just a guy that they have on call to just take care of people.
yeah, And sometimes, it involves like taking care of them, as in like taking them their lives, but other times apparently taking care of someone involves like making sure that they have a nice food service, go to their hotel room or something.
Yeah,
It's
rings up and calls for pie.
yeah, yeah, it's a really diverse skill set that he has there. Um,
Really
and
jack of all trades.
yeah, jack of all trades, master of none, possibly. I'm not sure.
I mean, his name was like Jack Nunn, I think.
Yeah, and so when he's training Charles, he's like, "All right, it's time to get jacked," and they do like this training montage with a piece of music set to it. What'd you think of this music here?
They had get rolling, 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 rolling.
Yeah.
And was that again? I can't even remember. Limp Bizkit. That was it.
Okay.
So like
Yeah.
getting tough, but he's getting limp at the same time.
Yeah.
So don't get limp on me. I'll give you a biscuit.
Yeah. Like he'll, and you even see him like eat a biscuit, but when he's offered a plate of a bunch more, he like throws the plate away, the biscuits fall to the floor. So he's like refusing the carbs that he doesn't need and just taking in the carbs that he does need.
Mhm.
Um, and he's climbing monkey bars on a playground, and he's punching a punching bag and running across some sort of frozen lake somewhere, like somewhere snowy. I don't know where this is,
Yeah,
but
they even like it was just a cut. Like they even show him like traveling there. He's just like on an ice sheet, just like spinning around. So very, very, very confused.
yeah, they don't even do the thing where they show the name of the location in the corner or something.
Yeah, like
But
New York, America, as if he didn't know there was another New York.
yeah, yeah. But this training montage, like, is suddenly interrupted. Like the music stops and he falls through the ice sheet, and so he's like um underwater. And apparently, this is part of the test, trying to see if he can get out of this. So, what'd you think of that moment there?
It's quite harsh, really. I mean, dude almost died.
Yeah, like he's trying to swim and trying to climb out. Um, get back on the ice and whatnot. And, John Bernthal is just watching, not even giving him a helping hand. It's like, dude, this guy could have almost died, and you're just like standing there watching.
Yeah, they ended up cutting a hole out because he couldn't find the hole.
Yeah, it was very much, like making a donut type thing, like punching a hole and then, yeah, just climbing out.
Yeah, I think John Bernthal just like punched the ice open.
Yeah. And then Charles like gets like super mad at him to the point where he like punches John Bernthal in the jaw, and then John Bernthal like look, you expect him to get super mad and fight back, but instead he smiles and is like, "I think you're ready."
Yeah, because then like, because I don't think that's what he intended him to do in the first place was just push him over the edge and see if he could actually fight.
Yeah, and so they finally let him go on this mission, like to go after his wife's killer. But he doesn't just use brute strength, like all the stuff that he's learned. He also like uses his smarts. He goes after these people who are connected to the guy who got his wife, and one of them is like in some sort of swimming pool that's like a it looks like a bridge between two buildings. And so he gets out this remote and is like, this will decompress the glass below you. And um the guy can't swim away fast enough, so it breaks and the water goes down like between the two buildings. Like that was quite a unique spectacle there, I guess.
Yeah, because the camera like followed him down as he was falling, and then yeah, you see him splat on the floor, and she's like, "Oh, that's gotta hurt."
Yeah, it looks very much like watermelon falling on the ground when like he splats. And yeah, there's just a lot of breaking glass in this part of the movie. You know, he breaks the glass of a different place. It's like a window display type thing, and he even like picks up broken pieces, throws them at some of the people who are connected to the killer. Um, yeah, what'd you think of his transformation by this point?
Well, he's still a bit clumsy. Like even when he's like fighting people, gets beaten up quite bad, and like he just manages to beat them. It's kind of like Johnny English, where like you can obviously tell he's trying to fight, but he's not really good at it. But he somehow manages to win every time.
Yeah, like there are some close calls where he is almost bested and then is able to get the upper hand just by sheer luck. Like he had, they kind of foreshadow this how he brings his tweezers with him everywhere in case he needs to like pluck out a white hair from his head or something. And when he's being strangled, he like reaches his pocket, gets out the tweezers, and shoves it up the guy's nose.
Yeah, that was a bit hard to watch that one.
Yes.
Like he pulls some brains out as well. It's like, oh, got your brains.
Yeah. Yeah, it looked like pink bubble gum or something. It's quite nasty.
Yeah, it's a bit rough.
Yeah. So he's, doing all this stuff. He goes to Budapest, and um, this is where a lot of the action takes place in this part of the movie. Um, but he finds out the address of like where his wife's killer might be, and so he goes over to this apartment, and he goes inside. It looks super clean, and there's he's trying to look for more clues in here. Like what'd you think of where this led to?
Yeah, like he found like pictures of him and his wife together. So it's like clearly that, or maybe they're after him and they got to his wife to get to him. But I don't think they say like why they're after him.
Yeah, like he finds that photo, and on the back of it there's like um this stamp that looks like in some sort of invitation to a tournament. Is like, what is this tournament? And so he tries to go to it, but then some people run after him and chase him as he tries to catch the ferry, and does the thing where he like does a long jump across the water to get on the ferry. What'd you think of that sequence there?
Yeah, it's very formulaic. Wasn't very interesting.
Yeah, there wasn't really much that happened. It was just like a lot of running there.
Yeah, it
Um,
wasn't even like a car chase scene. Like they could have done like some driving through the city and got some nice shots, but it was just like wasn't even parkour. They were just like running across the street.
yeah, like they were even like bumping into people. Like there was like a crosswalk, and some elderly person was trying to get across, and one of them like just shoved them away onto the street. It's
But I
like
think a bus hit the old woman as well.
yeah, it's like normally that would seem really like really sad and upsetting, but because of the way it was filmed and like the timing of it, it just felt like super unintentionally funny. And yeah, I don't know.
But I mean, he's not like professional, is he?
Right. So he's on this ferry, and it's like a really slow boat ride. Like they sort of linger on this face, like zooming in for like a minute, and then they just do a quick cut showing a high speed version of the ferry traveling across the water until it gets to the stadium where this tournament is. Which was really weird because they made it seem like this tournament was supposed to be some underground thing, but you can't really hide something that's like out in the open in a stadium, can you?
No, I think what it turned out to be was that he had to enter into the competition and win, and the prize of the competition was a ring, but never said what he never got to look at the ring to see what it was. But I think it was the wedding ring with the inscription on it.
Yeah, it was. Um, yeah, this tournament is basically just an excuse to get him to fight more people. Um, I think it was just like a bunch of extra steps that really weren't needed. But, eventually, he rises, and then, the inclusion of that wedding ring is really what tips him off to this revelation that I kind of expected, but it was still really weird to see play out, which was that his wife is not actually dead and that she's behind some of this stuff going on.
Yeah, I could definitely tell that. Yeah, something was off the whole time. Like, why would the CIA even let him do this? It's like, yes, something was iffy.
Yeah, and so he is like super paranoid and tries to find her, and like when he does, he's like, "But why? Why'd you do all this?" And she's like, "You're really still asking this even after everything?" And it's like, yeah, part of this was that he was like a slob and just really bad at upkeep at their apartment, and so she teamed up with the CIA to try to make him a better person. And it was this whole conspiracy, like this whole plan to like create a better man. And yeah, this was just an absolutely ludicrous revelation, in my opinion. What did you think of it?
It's kind of a bit stupid, wasn't it? It was like, yeah, trying to make him into a better man, but it's like you almost got him killed multiple times.
Yeah, you made him go
Like,
through a depression for several months.
was it really worth it?
Yeah, and he does ask that question, and she's like, "You tell me." And then he basically just like in that moment sort of has like a mental breakdown, is like, "I don't know what's real anymore." And just like yeah, he punches a window and just jumps out and does some more parkour, like running through the city.
Like, he still bumps into people.
Yeah. Yeah, so what do you think of the way that this movie ends?
Well, he has to go to Budapest and he like fights people with frozen sausages.
Oh yeah, because that was part of the assignment, that like in order to become a better man, he has to fight people using frozen sausages as a weapon.
Yeah, it's like a checklist you have to do.
Yeah, like we see the checklist now and then, and whenever he like checks something off, it does like a visual graphic where it shows like a green check mark, like all big on the screen
It's like an
with a
achievement unlocked or something.
yeah, with a sound effect like a bell. And so he does that, and he's like thinking to himself, once I defeat all these people using frozen sausages, maybe my life will finally be clear. And so after he does that, he takes a moment to think everything over. And how do you feel about what he ultimately decides after that?
I'm glad that he left her pretty much. He was like, "Yeah, I'm done with you and the CIA. I'm going to go work as a Zamboni driver."
Yeah. We cut to like 6 months later where there's like some sort of hockey game, and then afterward like he uses the Zamboni to like clean the place up. But ultimately, doesn't that kind of achieve their goals of like making him a cleaner person, and he's doing like this I guess cleaning related thing as a Zamboni driver?
Yeah, but it's not as like athletic as what they were training him for.
Yeah, he sort of just watches the hockey games when they happen as like, yeah, that life's not for me anymore. Like, getting physical and stuff. Um, but yeah, we then get this like really uh I guess foreboding or I don't know, sad sounding music playing like while the credits roll, and you hear him whisper like, "I'm no longer an amateur."
Yeah, I
Um,
think there's like the amateur will turn him the professional once.
yeah, that'd be something. Um, like the professional Zamboni driver. All right, so I guess we could go into final thoughts and score out of 10. So, what are your final thoughts, score out of 10, and do you know of measurement for that score for the amateur?
It's a bit weird that I've seen this movie because I've seen a lot of like revenge films recently, but it's always like, oh, the daughter dies or the wife dies, and it's all like the same thing where the person undertaking the revenge is like a highly trained professional, but no one seems to think they could find a killer. But this just has like some random dude who clearly doesn't know how to fight, fumble his way into finding his wife's not even dead. It's like it's kind of interesting, but just the way they did it was just not interesting. Like it wasn't I guess it just wasn't entertaining.
Yeah, I can see that. Like, it felt like they were trying to do something different, but I think because we've seen so many similar stories, we kind of expected something different to the point where it was kind of predictable. And yeah, it definitely felt off in terms of the entertainment factor. So what would your score out of 10 be in the unit of measurement?
It would be 4.5 out of 10 pizza boxes.
Yeah, I'm gonna go slightly lower. I'm feeling like 4 out of 10 shards of glass because there was so much of it in this movie. Yeah, it's all over the place. The revelation could have worked in something better written, but the way it just all fell into place, it just felt really clumsy and messy. And yeah, I think this movie will be forgotten, or I guess kind of has been forgotten like real quick already. Like I don't really see many people in our universe talking about it all that much now.
No,
All right. Well, thanks for joining me again, Greg. Um, any final words before we end the episode?
no, not really. I don't think so. Unless there's something you want to say.
All right, yeah, I'll add some stuff in the edit as usual at the end. And yeah, thanks for tuning in, everyone. Without further delay, have a good day. Okay, now for the plugs. You can email Delayed Replay via delayedreplaypodcast@gmail.com. Let us know your thoughts on pizza boxes. Do you prefer them in something else? Also about clones, because I don't remember if I did this bit last time for the Mickey 17 episode. Um, yeah, and I don't know. So you can follow me on a few different places. You can find the links in the show notes, but definitely go to stevenshinder.com for info on my standalones and stepping stones novels. and check out Yes Shift, podcast slash vlog that I do with my dad. I actually went to a John Anderson and the Band Geeks concert, so there's a review of that on there, and there's going to be an interview with Matt Beck on April 10th. He's playing guitar on this current leg of touring, and we've also got a Steve Howe themed episode coming up. So, yeah, lots of cool stuff. And also check out Drum Talk TV Brilliance, which is for all music fans. So, I think that's pretty much it from my end. And without further delay, here's my other self to talk about what he's been watching. Hello, everyone. This is the other Steven. Happy First Contact Day when this episode comes out. That's a Star Trek thing. And I've been very busy recently, but managed to do some things here and there. The YouTube channel, Steven Shinder Reviews in video form, is back in action. I put up a video called 11th Doctor Who episodes ranked, so give that video some love, and I'm gonna keep reviewing Doctor Who episodes as the new season comes out. For a little while, I thought it'd been much longer since the last time I posted something. Then I remembered the Skeleton Crew reviews, which ended in January, was when I took a break from the channel. But speaking of which, I went to WonderCon last weekend, and I went to the Skeleton Crew Boys panel. Now, it's a Star Wars show, Skeleton Crew. I almost said Skeleton Boys instead, but yeah, the actors who played Wim and Neil were there answering questions, and they were so energetic and seemed to be having fun and, cracking jokes and stuff. And it was just a great energy. Everyone who was there was very supportive because, some Star Wars fans have this reputation of how mean they were to certain Star Wars actors, especially a kid actor way back. I'm sure you all know what I'm talking about. So it's good to see that it was a safe environment, and people lined up to ask questions, and I was able to ask them what are their favorite TV shows outside of Star Wars, and they ended up talking about Hamilton, on Disney Plus, but then Neil's actor, or no, not Neil, Wim's actor mentioned Hilda was a favorite show of his, and I've mentioned here on this show, I think, how Hilda is a fantastic show. It's very wholesome, got great fantasy elements. I think more people should watch that show. But yeah, I hung out with my friend Haley at the con. She was dressed up as the White Queen from Alice in Wonderland, the Tim Burton version. And I was doing a low effort cosplay. It started out when I asked my friend Albert, what's a character that I could even do that wouldn't require me removing my facial hair? And he mentioned Wolverine and Green Arrow, and that's when I realized, I could mix their names. It would be, Wolverine and Oliver Queen put together as Wolver Queen. So I had a green hoodie, a green mask, and these like yellow and black gloves that someone with tools would use, and I taped these green triangles onto them that kind of look like they're shaped like arrows. And I wore these like track pants, I guess they are, which had black, blue, and yellow. So yeah, I looked ridiculous, but there was so much better cosplays around me. Some really great yellow costume Wolverine suits. There were lots of various characters. I've posted some pictures of mine on my Instagram and Facebook. But Yeah, there's a Walter White cosplay that was really impressive. And we met up with her friends, Brendan and George. They were dressed up as a Resident Evil police officer and a Resident Evil zombie. So that was really cool. They're really nice, really awesome guys. Um, and we also went to, before we met up with them, Haley and I went to this panel called, it has a longer name, but the short of it is representation and animation, and there are some interesting views about Pixar's Soul and the Little Mermaid remake, um, and Kanto. Um, and Pixar's Win or Lose, and very um, open and honest panelists who mentioned being disappointed with certain things or how more could have been done with certain things. They mentioned Across the Spider Verse and um, uh, what was it? The Baymax short where they tried to do trans representation, but it was very minimal effort in those ones. But this panel kind of brought to my attention that the trans storyline that was dropped from Win or Lose, or at least there had been reporting that it had been dropped from Pixar's Win or Lose, but uh, it turns out it was still mostly intact in the final show, the final edit. There's just no verbal confirmation that it's a trans storyline. So, but if you watch the episode, that's very clearly what it is. So very very interesting stuff at this panel. Um, yeah, some eye opening things, some perspectives I hadn't considered, but yeah, it's yeah, like there should definitely be more effort for representation in things going forward. I know that some stuff in real life might be preventing that, so people will have to get creative on how they tell these stories. But yeah, at the end of the con, I went to the food trucks, got this Caribbean protein bowl, and it was order 66. So that was a nice little surprise. Like I think that's like the third or fourth time that's happened to me. Um, in terms of what I've been watching, people can check out my letterbox for any random movies I end up watching. But I feel like it's been more TV lately. I've definitely been watching the extended versions of The Office episodes because it was the 20th anniversary of the US series recently, and I've not seen these extended versions, at least for most of them. I think maybe there's a few I had seen before. So that's made it feel very fresh for me. Um, I've also been watching Daredevil Born Again, each new episode. It's still going on and still going really well, although I still feel like I prefer the original three Netflix seasons. I don't really see this one climbing above those, but it was always going to be tough. But even so, I'm glad that this still feels like an extension of those seasons. I've also been watching. I watched the first season of Russian Doll, the Leslie Headland show starring Natasha Lyonne. I think that's her name. From Poker Face, which was made by Ryan Johnson. So she's been in two Star Wars creators shows now, and both of them are cool. Um, this show, A Russian Doll, is a time loop, like a Groundhog Day type show, trying to figure out how to get out of the time loop, and she's not the only one in it. So I thought it was done really well. A nice little variation on the concept. But in terms of newer things, the third season of Jurassic World Chaos Theory dropped the other day, and I watched it all within that day, and it's really good. I'm once again really happy with how the characters have evolved, and I can see there being slightly frustrating things here and there, but overall, the Jurassic animated stuff has really been my jam when it comes to that franchise. Now, the upcoming Rebirth movie, eh, I'm not really sure what I'd want from a Jurassic movie at this point that could surpass what the shows offer, in my view, anyway. But yeah, interesting stuff. The new Superman trailer was pretty cool. Got a bit more of crypto. The Karate Kid Legends trailer looked promising too. So, yeah, for some fascinating stuff coming up, and I'm looking forward to seeing how it turns out. Alright, so I guess that's it for this episode. Delayed Replay will be back in 2 weeks. And without further delay, have a good day.